folks, we're live on air, so we could post this on YouTube and you can rewatch it if you need to. So, okay, welcome everybody. Let's get started on our first lesson of the semester. So lesson 1, I did mention we're going to talk about gross debt service ratio. Gross debt service ratio. So here's our goal. Now it's nice to know what our goal is so that we can get focused. Our goal is to calculate the maximum monthly housing cost for a given monthly gross income. Okay, so if this is my income, how much can how much am I allowed as a monthly housing cost? And use the monthly housing cost and gross income to calculate the value of the gross debt service ratio, and then use the gross debt service ratio to determine whether or not a mortgage is affordable. Okay? That's okay. So many people are unsure of whether they can afford to purchase a property or not. Okay? So financial institutions have developed a formula. Oh, okay. We love formulas. Have developed a formula to answer this question. So financial institutions in Manitoba use the following rule. Your 3 main housing expense. So they're going to about the 3 main house expense. Okay, so that's the house expense that we were kind of talking about earlier here. So the 3 house expense are the mortgage payment, so property taxes and heating bill. So these are the 3 things that the bank consider, and they put it into this formula to calculate whether or not we can afford to purchase a home or not. Okay? And all of these 3 things should not exceed 32% of your gross income. So here's our magic number, 32%. 32%. So it says here, your friend has a monthly gross income of $4,000 and says that he can afford monthly housing costs of $2,000. Explain why this is not true. So if you look at this, someone's income is $4,000, and then they said the monthly housing cost is $2,000. Do you think they could afford to buy that house? Why not? That's half of what they're making, right? So if you look at this visually, because we are all, okay, if you want to see this visually, that's half. That's $2,000 house expense. There's house expenses is $2,000. That's half of the income. So he cannot afford the monthly housing costs because it exceeds the 32% limit. I'll just put limit. Okay. Since, we'll just put here, since he spends 50% of his income on house expenses. So that's half of his income goes to house expense. Okay, that's not enough. Okay, sorry, that is way too much to be spending on house expense. Exceeds it. Okay, we should only be using about 32%. Okay, we cannot go over. Okay, now if this is him, okay, somebody takes home a $4,000 a month, then how much should he be spending on house expenses? Okay, so what is the maximum amount that he should be spending on housing expenses? Okay, remember it's 32% of his income. So 32% of monthly income. Okay. Now, we're going to try to figure that out mathematically. What's 32% of the income? Okay. What's 32%? We're going to change that into a decimal. What would that be? 32% means 32 divided by 100, right? 32 divided by 100. The word percent would be per 100. The word of means times, right? Times. So we're taking 32% of means times the monthly income. Well, what's the monthly income? Good morning. Good morning. 4,000. Okay. So let's calculate that piece. 32 divided by 1,000. So I'll give you a moment to do that. I'll do the same thing. So 32%, so 32 per 100, or 0.32 times 4,000. So it's 1,280. Now, that is the most he could spend on these 3 house expenses. What are the 3 house expenses? Mortgage payment, heat, and property tax. Okay? So, the maximum he should spend on house expenses is 1,280. We're gonna state we have our work, and here's our final answer, and then summarizing it in a statement. The maximum he should spend on house expenses is 1,280. Is that good? Right? 32%. Okay. Now we're going to get into the calculating the gross debt service ratio. Calculating the gross debt service ratio. Remember at the beginning it says there is a formula, right? There's a formula that the bank uses to see if it's affordable, if the house is affordable for us. This is the formula that they're going to be using. So GDSR, that's short for gross debt service ratio. So what's included in the formula? When you look at the top here, mortgage payment, monthly mortgage payment, monthly property tax, monthly heat, divided by monthly income, and then times 100. Okay, so here's the thing. If the GDSR is under 32%, the bank will consider you for the mortgage, meaning that the bank will lend you the money, okay, to buy the house, whatever that house is. If the GDSR is over the 32% limit, the financial institution, the bank, will definitely not approve the mortgage. It means the person might not be able to pay all of those housing costs. Good morning. Okay, so this is important. Isn't it kind of weird sometimes? Like, sometimes I wonder, like, why 32%, right? Like, why can't it be like a nice number? Like 32% for me is like such a weird number. It's like, can it be like 30%, 25%, right? 32, like really 32? Anyways, here you go. Example number 2. You would like to buy a house with a monthly mortgage payment of $775.75. Monthly property tax is $125, and average monthly heating cost of $150. Your gross monthly income is $3,000. Use the formula to calculate the GDSR. Okay, now we're gonna calculate it. Since this is like the very first thing that we're talking about, we want to make sure that we get into the habit of showing our work, okay, showing our steps, and then writing our answer, our final answer, clearly stating final answer. Okay, so we're on page 2, Jessie. Page 2? Yeah, example 2. So GDSR. Okay, now we're gonna put here, we're gonna follow the formula. What does it say? We're supposed to write down the monthly mortgage payment. Do we know the monthly mortgage payment? Right, so we have the formula. The next thing that we're gonna do is substitution. 775.75 plus, what does it say? Monthly property tax. Monthly property tax of 125. So plus 125. Plus monthly heating. Do we have a monthly heating? Yeah, it says monthly heating of 150. Okay. So the formula says add those 3 things. And then what are we going to do? What does this line mean? Dividing. So we're going to take all of that and we're going to divide it by gross monthly income. So what's a gross monthly income? Monthly income is $3,000. And then finally, what does it say? Times 100. So times 100. What we're going to do is we're going to follow the orders of operation, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of that orders of operation before. The acronym is BEDMAS, right? BEDMAS, meaning we're going to figure this numerator first, the top number. So let's go ahead and calculate the numerator, the top number, all these 3 things. Add them all up. So 1050.75, okay, divided by 3000 times 100. Okay, so now that we've figured out the numerator, which is 1050.75 and 75 cents, divided by 3000 times 100. Okay, so let's do that. Let's now do the rest. So 1050.75 divided by 3000 times 100. Okay, so we're gonna get 35.025, and that's percent, because that's 100%. So what does that mean? Let's analyze this for a second. So 35% of the income is used on these house expenses. So the GDSR is 35.025%. Now, letter B. Would the bank be likely to grant the mortgage? Would the bank grant the mortgage? No? Over the 32%. Yeah, that's it. I told you, it's such a weird number. Okay, yeah, that's right. So the bank will not grant the mortgage because GDSR exceeds means over 32%.
Sorry for the interruption again. Will the owners of the following vehicles please come and move your vehicle immediately, or you will be towed. You are blocking the lot as well as a fire escape. First license plate KHS 895. KHS 895. Second, HND 791. HND 791. Third, KBZ 861. KBZ 861. And finally, HS4 702. HS4 702. Please move your vehicles immediately or you will be towed. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna run into a problem in here, right? We really wanted to buy this house that we want, but the bank, after they calculated the GDSR, it's 35%. The bank is not likely gonna give us the money to buy that house, to loan the money, right? So how can we lower the cost or lower the GDSR? What are the things that we could do to lower the GDSR? Okay, so what are the things that are in here? Mortgage payment. These are the key parts that makes up the GDSR, right? So mortgage payment, property tax, heating bill, income. What can we do?
Extend the monthly mortgage payments.
Extend.
The monthly mortgage payments.
Okay. To make it.
Like, so if it's 2 years, then extend it to 3 years.
Okay. Yeah. Make it longer. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice that you say that, but because we haven't talked about that one yet, right? So, extend the mortgage payment. So, i.e., or that is, chain pay off loan in, let's say, because now when we're talking about mortgage, it takes a long time to pay for mortgage. So instead of paying it for 20 years, we can pay it off in 25 years, right? So pay it off in 25 years instead of 20 years. Okay? That's good. So we have to, these are the things that we could adjust. So how can we adjust the lower mortgage payment? Well, we could extend our loan longer, right? To pay it off longer instead of shorter. What else? Any other thing that you can think about? Lowering the, okay. How do we lower the mortgage payment? Yeah, we have to lower. Now, what are things? Yeah, so another extending the thing. Another thing too that we can talk about is shop for interest, lower interest in the bank. Yeah. So shop or negotiate for a lower interest rate. Right? So, hello, good morning. Sorry, he didn't hear you. Yeah, you're in the right place. Go grab a book. Okay, so shop or negotiate for a lower interest rate. So, all of these things we probably don't see it yet because we didn't really talk about that yet. But we could look around for a better interest rate. We can negotiate for a better interest rate for the bank. Okay, the bank wants our business, so we can say, hey, is there another interest rate that I could get that's lower, right? Because I don't want to pay a lot of interest. Okay, what else could you?
Like a property you can budget it?
Oh, yes, yeah, absolutely. Find that. Find the property within your budget. I could not add any more to that. Okay? If I can't afford a $300,000 home, then maybe find a $250,000, or $200,000. That's within my limit. Okay. Another thing that we could do to lower the
Finding cheaper than a house. Finding cheaper than other house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's exactly like this one here. So I'll just add that in. Okay. Find cheaper house. Or less expensive house, right? Yeah. Now, once you figure out the house, you can't really change your property tax. You can't really change your monthly heating bill. You could by lowering the monthly heating bill, right? Once you get there. What about this one? Huh? Should we increase the income or decrease the income? Increase the income, right? Increase income. Increase income. Like if I really want the house that I that I found, then how can I be able to afford it? Well, I gotta maybe take on a part-time job or something, right? Increase income, whatever that is. Okay. Good. Is that too fast, or can I move on to example 3? Okay, so we're on page 3. Sebastian would like to purchase a house. The monthly payment for the house is $1,280. Sebastian's gross annual income is $45,900. Annual property tax is $25.30. The bank average monthly heating is $190. Calculate GDSR. Okay, now this part here, they gave us all of the information, but you'll probably see this, and this is where we had to pay attention to the wording. Okay, so this is a monthly payment. Okay, so that's a monthly mortgage payment. Sebastian's gross annual income. Okay, well, we're supposed to put the gross monthly income, but this is gross annual income. What does annual mean?
Yearly.
For the whole year, for the yearly. How do we calculate the monthly? Divided by 12. Exactly. So there's a little twist to this. There's a little twist to that one because they tell us the annual. We need the monthly. So we're gonna go for 45,900 divided by 12. Okay, so that's our monthly 45,900 divided by 12. So 38.25 monthly gross income. Okay. What else is say here? The annual property tax for the house is $25.30. Okay, again, this is a little trick here. They get a little bit tricky, so we have to pay close attention to the wording because it's, again, annual property tax. So how do we calculate the monthly property tax? We gotta divide it by 12 again, right? So 25.30 divided by 12. Now I'm gonna get 210.833333. Because we're talking about money, it's all 2 decimal places, right? So now this is the monthly. I'm just gonna put prop tax. Okay, that's a monthly property tax. And then over here, average monthly heating cost. Okay, well, that one is okay because it's already monthly, so we don't have to do anything about it, right? So I think we're all set. So GDSR. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and see if you could figure that out. GDSR, follow the formula. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a right substitution in the right places. Now, we ended up getting a 43.94%. Okay, is that a good thing? No. So, Sebastian will not be approved. Because GDSR is over 32%. 32%. Okay. Is everybody okay with that one? Okay. This is I'm not gonna get started with the last example. However, I'm gonna actually ask you to try these questions for homework, okay? Or for you to try. You can try questions 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. What's that? Yeah. We're not gonna do 4. We're gonna do it tomorrow. But for homework, or for you to do questions 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, also before you pack up and go, I will take the attendance. Okay, I haven't taken the attendance yet, so we'll do that right away. Okay.